everyone. I wanted to talk today a little bit about doubt. Since having Toby, which is the little one that you are going to be hearing in the background of the video, I have had a lot of doubts. When it comes to my faith, when it comes to God's goodness, when it comes to, I don't know, just like if I'm ever talking about God and I'm talking about His majesty or talking about His power or whatever it might be, I think to myself, do I really believe that? And I had a similar season my junior year of high school. That was more like, I'm going to look into other religions and just really seek out what truth is, and that was I don't even want to say, like, neither have been a scary time, but they've both been times where my faith has been able to be strengthened and confirmed. And so that's kind of what I've been walking through right now. I will say that it shows itself in not wanting to be in the Word as much, not wanting to be at church as much, not wanting to like pray, and it's something that I've talked to other women about, but it's just been a very difficult season, and but again, not like a scary season for my faith. It's just been one that I have had to put faith over feeling and faith over fear and continue to move forward in confidence, but at the same time, not give too much room to those doubts, but also seek out truth. So, what you gonna do? He has grabbed this table before. And lifted his whole body up off of the ground by holding onto the edge of the table. But yeah, today I was reading through Genesis 32. I think I started in Genesis 30, but we got a Bible for Toby's baby shower, and what I wanted to do is read through it. He was born last June, and I am on Genesis 30. So that shows you how quickly I'm going through it. But what I'm doing in it is like marking just like little notes and writing things that I want for maybe Toby to read one day, or for him to see stand out, or just to know what my heart is for him and my relationship with God, what that is like. And when he graduates high school, my plan is to give him this Bible, and I have the same plan for Oni as well. So after this one, I'll go through a Bible for Oni. But anyway, so all that to say, I was reading through Genesis 32, and Jacob was a deceiver. His mom told him to deceive his dad to get the birthright from Esau. He deceived his father-in-law with the goats that he inherited, and the sheep that he inherited, and he ran away from his father-in-law without him knowing about it. And he was also deceived. So his father-in-law deceived him by giving him Leah as his wife instead of Rachel, and then he had to stay longer and work for him longer so that he could marry Rachel. And they had their own deceptions going and their own idea of things, and it was just a whole giant mess. And I remember my Old Testament teacher in college, Dr. McAfee. He talked about how anytime you see polygamy in the Bible, it's like, oh, well, the Bible writes about it, so it must be okay. Anytime you see polygamy written about in the Bible, it always causes deceit, jealousy, strife, confusion, sin, all the things. So polygamy is not okay. And the Bible never lends itself to saying that it is. So that's just a little side note if you wanted to know about that while you're seeking out your doubts and your fears. But maybe one day I'll make another video about it. I don't know. Maybe I will. It's an interesting topic. But after all of that, right before Jacob wrestles with God, in Genesis 32, it says, "Then Jacob prayed, O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, you who said to me, go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper." So Jacob ran away from Esau because Esau was so mad that he stole the birthright. And now God is leading him back to his relatives. And he's scared. He's scared to encounter Esau. He's worried that to trust God is going to lead to tremendous danger. And so he's praying and crying out to God. He says, "I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. I had only my staff when I crossed this Jordan, but now I have become 2 camps. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers with their children. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper, and will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted." And I started crying at the YMCA, and I was crying because even in the midst of all of my doubts and all of my fears, like Jacob he's not acting like he's like, oh, I have no fears, I have no worries, let's go. He is coming before the Father with his fears and with his worries. And so I wrote a prayer, and I modeled it after this one. And again, this is a huge season of doubt for me. And the biggest comfort that I have is when I lean on the truths of God and lean on his promises. And I wrote, "O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac." And the really cool thing is that I do serve the God of my father Abraham, the God of my father Isaac, the God of all who have gone before, the Father of all who have gone before me and before us, who have trusted in Yahweh. I said, "Lord, you who said to me, I will never leave you or forsake you, I am unworthy of all of the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. I had only my hopes when I came to you 2 years ago, but now I have my family." So 2 years ago, I came to the Lord in desperation at a really dark spot in my life, cried out to him on behalf of my family. And at that time I was pregnant with our first. So our family that is now, I didn't even know that that's the plan that God had for us, to have 2 children within a span of less than 2 years. And so he has just shown himself to be so faithful. So I said, I had only my hopes when I came to you 2 years ago, but now I have my family. Save me, I pray, from the lure of the flesh. The lure of the flesh to hold on, for I am afraid. I'm not handing over everything, but you have said, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. And I have felt in this season of doubt just a deep insecurity to have to hold tightly. And actually, when I look back at my whole life, I have tried to hold so tightly to things. There haven't been many moments in my life of like full surrender. And I know that this is another one where I'm not fully surrendering to the Lord what He is calling out to me to surrender. And so because of that fear, I am not handing over what I need to the Lord. And so I wrote in this prayer, God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble, because I'm not giving over to God. It's the metal table again. That metal table, it just keeps reaching out and knocking you in the noggin. But in my pride, it says that God resists the proud. It says that, in a sense, like God is holding back from me when I am not giving fully to Him what He desires. And that's not out of hate. That's out of His goodness and out of His discipline. And He's crying out to me saying, child, give me over this. It's like when, when Oni is my oldest, when he's holding on to his toys and I say, okay, Oni, it's time to eat. I know he's hungry, but he won't put down his toys. And I'm like, okay, Oni, until we put down our toys, we're not going to eat. Like, we have to do the thing that is necessary so that the other thing that is needed can happen. And in the same way I see, God as our Father, it's like, okay, Anna, like, let's set down our toys so that we can go and eat, or let's walk away from that which is bad so that we can walk into the good, and walk into those paths of righteousness that He desires that we walk in and that He knows are best for us. And that's why it says that He gives grace to the humble. He is able to give grace to the heart that is open to it. His grace is a gift that we receive. And so when my heart is open to receiving that is when I get the full abundance of what He desires for me to have in the first place. And in my doubts, I wouldn't say doubt is a bad thing. It's what we do with our doubt. Doubting is a part of living in the already but not yet. We are earth side of the kingdom. And until we are reunited with Jesus for all of eternity, there will be that sense of some doubt that lives within us. So it's not that doubt is just the worst thing in the world. It's how we decide to respond to it.